Hello. It is the Thursday before Good Friday. Easter is this coming Sunday. And I wanted to do an episode about how I would execute the holidays as somebody who has body composition goals. Now, um, I always think it's obvious, just do this, but it's not that obvious to people. And so I'm going to take kind of some of the conversations I've been having with clients over the last couple of days where um, it's always this way. Clients who are just starting out are nervous about Easter, and clients who have been with me for a while, who have navigated holidays, birthdays, travel for work, they are not nervous because they have learned to trust themselves, which is ultimately, I think, what everyone is really just trying to do when they get coached, is learn how, like, they don't want to gain this weight back. They don't want to do this again. This isn't necessarily their first rodeo, or they've been kind of gaining weight through menopause for a variety of reasons and they want to stop the hemorrhaging. And this is a podcast for you. So number one, I always think, like, don't worry about anything. There's nothing worrying is going to do for you. So don't worry about this weekend as a starting point. The second thing is, when a client asks me or says, I'm nervous about this weekend, or how should I execute this weekend, Easter specifically, the day, because there's going to be foods around, they're feeling like they don't want to backslide. So number one day won't ruin everything. It just won't. And I say that through the holidays when I'm giving fueling tips. It's not the one day, it's when that one day bleeds into multiple days. That's the problem. So I say, go enjoy Easter, eat the food, enjoy it. That's what I'm going to do. So that's kind of the big, that's like the overarching theme and message for clients. Now listen, if I was doing prepping for a bodybuilding show, which I've done before through holidays, I'm definitely not going to eat, or I'm going to bring my own food, or I'm going to those are the options. And so, or I'm going to, it's the host and I'm going to ask what they're having and I'm going to plan around it. So, but I don't have to do that now because that isn't my goal. My goal is to maintain my current body composition. Like many of you, it's like a habit in my mind to always be like, I must improve. That just is like, it's like a habit in there, and no matter how lean I've been, whether I was the day to step on stage, I was like, oh, I should have gotten a little leaner. I mean, I was 12% body fat, should have gotten a little leaner. So I'm here to tell you it's never enough. You will always be like, oh, just a little more. Oh, just a little more. It's like a mindset, and I have to shake that out myself as well. So I'm with you there, but we don't have that pressure. I think sometimes all of the pressure that we put on ourselves to be perfect and execute it perfectly is what gets us in trouble. And I have this conversation a lot with clients. Not everyone is like that, but some, depending on the personality type of the client, some people are really, really hard on themselves and they tend to fall more into the all or nothing. So yes, Easter is going to get scary for you because you're thinking you're going to start the Cadbury eggs by 9 a.m. and you're just going to eat and eat and eat like it's your last supper. That's a tricky place to be. I've been there too. So big overarching theme though, no pressure, right? We don't need pressure. We are not prepping for a bodybuilding show, and you can't ruin everything in one day, right? So go enjoy the day, enjoy those foods, etc. Okay, that's the theme. The second thing comes down to each individual person because everybody is different. So depending on my client, like, what are they working on? For some people, it is about not having alcohol that day and not doing all kinds of snacking so they feel like total garbage, sleep like crap, wake up the next day, hungover or with like digestion issues for 2 days. They don't want to do that anymore. So for them, the goal that day is to just like contain their indulgences to that meal. Fine. Maybe you go over your macros. Again, no big deal, okay? You're not going to lose everything you've gained. And then the final one is Some clients really do want to stay in their macros that day. That's important to them. That feels right for them. So they're going to pre-track their food, and they're going to really pick and choose things wisely. They're not going to have dessert. They're not going to indulge. And that is because those foods for them at this point in their journey would be kind of triggering, and they feel like, if I get a taste of the good stuff, I'm afraid I'm going to backslide. That's totally valid. So all of the however you approach these things has to do with your goals, your relationship with food, where you are in your journey, and that is individual per person, which is why it's really hard to just be like, do this, everybody do this, everybody needs this. I think a lot of things can work. So if I were you and you were feeling a little nervous about the weekend, I would say, how do I want to feel Monday? So for me, I do a lot of that. That's with goals. That's with everything. Where do I want to be? Okay, what do I have to do to get there? So if Monday I want to wake up and feel really good about how I handled Sunday, these are the things I'm going to do that day. And then I'm going to do everything I can to honor that commitment to myself. And that's how I look at it. It's not just like to do what I'm supposed to do. It's to honor the commitment to myself, because I know that I'm going to feel better. So it may be that you have, one piece of pie, but you decide, you're not going to have all of them. Most people, just when you set a little bit more intention, you do better, you feel better, and it just, you want to feel good in your body. I have definitely overindulged to the point of rolling out of, events. And I don't want to do that to myself anymore, as I know that many of you don't. So that is something to really, think about, is how I want to feel Monday when I come out of this. So don't worry about it. You're going to be okay. Just try not to, eat your way into the day and then let it linger for multiple days after that. The other thing I would say to clients is stay off the scale, because it's probably going to go up when you introduce foods like that are rich, that you're not used to consuming. The scale will go up, and that can freak people out. That's totally up to you. But I would say, if it's like that, just stay off the scale for a few days. You don't need to. It's just scale weight. It's not body fat. It doesn't matter. And like I said, you'd have to really be overdoing it that day. For multiple days to be packing on body fat. The scale responds to carbohydrates, it responds to excess calories in a day, but it doesn't mean, horrible things are happening. You have time. I think when you start to panic, as if, and you get in that mindset that this is never going to work, it's going to take forever, I can't do this, I've never been able to do this. Those are the things you tell yourself that will make it very, very difficult. So we want to tell ourselves things like, I can do this. I am working on it. I am making an effort to have a better relationship with food. I am capable of making good decisions around my meals. I am someone who moves my body. I'm someone who takes care of myself, even on the holidays. And you just kind of have to identify as that person and create that vision, and then just really connect to it. I know it's not that deep for everybody. We're just talking about eating here. But listen, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it and wouldn't need this, these discussions. And it's because food serves us, and food is part of our culture, and food is how we celebrate, and food is how we reward ourselves. And all of those things are great, but not to the detriment of your health and mental health. Food can also be, used as as your drug of choice, and the thing you grab for when you're stressed and emotional. And I will do a podcast about that too, behavior around stress eating and emotional eating, because that is so common for my women, where they're just find themselves in snacks. So if stress eating, emotional eating, and those types of behaviors, like when you get a little anxious and you want to grab something, my number one, the best piece of advice I can give you is have what I just consider them. Maybe somebody else has said this before. I haven't heard it, but like safe foods. We need safe people and safe foods. Foods that we know are going to be good for us that we can grab. Like I always have, in the refrigerator, fruits, grilled chicken, vegetables, more sweet potato. If you're really having a difficult time, just eat more good food. Nobody ever beats themselves up for having extra fruit or extra protein. You want to stay away from the junk. That's going to help you. On a day like Easter, you can approach it two ways. One is sometimes people don't eat anything and then go into the day and then just totally binge. The way I like to do it is I like to eat a good breakfast. We'll go to church. We'll do some exercising. Maybe I'll throw in a protein shake there, and then Easter will just be like one meal, and then I'll probably be done for the day. Maybe I'll have another scoop of protein later, or something yogurt, but I won't like not eat and then just like go ham. I will have fed myself. The other hack, if you're really trying to stay on track, I will suck down a couple scoops of protein before I go out for a meal so that I've taken the edge off a little bit and I'm not like want everything, on the menu or buffet. So that, both ways can work. Just go into the day calm, enjoy the day. And it's not about being perfect that day, but it's how fast you get back on track to your normal routine. I want you to, if you're one of my clients and listening, think of your macros and targets and movement as just like, that's your home base. That's your safe zone. That's where you know what your body needs and you're learning. If apparently it's not just intuitive, and that is because all kinds of things are mixed up with food, which is what I've alluded to before. Emotions, watching your mother restrict or binge or gain weight and lose weight, that type, growing up like that, like I can't fix that for you, but what I can help you with is what you do today forward and behaviors today forward, which is really the best way to think about it. You could go back and try to figure out why all you want. Why do I do this? And I know that I go there too, as you've heard me talk with other things in my life, but I have to focus on today forward. What can I do today? What can I do right now? And you can take that approach too with food if you're struggling. I just had this conversation with a client who was struggling with some hunger and just kind of bingy and panicky. And I just tell her, just eat more good food. If you're hungry, you will eat the fruit. Have an apple before you do anything. If you keep that as a rule, like I'm just gonna, you know what? I can have anything I want just right after I have this apple. Have things like that around, that at least you're fueling yourself well. It's the junk, the processed foods, all of that like candy that you could potentially consume, that will get you. And once, it's hard, like even for me, like I love gummy fish, candies, stuff like that. But it's like ignorance is bliss, Now it's just like, ugh, it's like, okay, it tastes good, but I don't know. Like I've had so much of that stuff and I really feel like, all that sugar for me, all that sugar to the brain, like that can give me the same hot flashes at night and night sweats and racing heart rate that alcohol used to. So those foods don't serve me in any capacity, but I'll introduce them every once in a while. But usually then I'm just like, well, that was dumb. So I really have to want it. You know what I mean? And when I want it, I let myself have it. So don't worry about this weekend. Enjoy it. It is the Lord. He is risen indeed on Sunday. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the gifts and family and friendship, and that's what I'm doing. And the food is just a nice to have, and could be a day for really good opportunity to practice some discipline and some self-control and still enjoy some of those things. So I hope that helps. Please rate and share the show. Comment. It's fun to have the video again on YouTube. I didn't want to do it because I just didn't want all of the exposure. I got so sick of it and burnt out and tired of it. But you know, I'm back. I'm happy to be here. I think this helps clients also just reiterate things we talk about. And thank you guys for sharing so much with me so that I can really just deliver it back to a larger audience and help people that way. So apply for one-on-one coaching. That's linked here in the show notes. It's linked in my Instagram. Apply. We'll do a consult. Find a program that's right for you if you're spinning your wheels. I've got an app. You can track your food in the First Form app, and those are the ways to get help from me. So hopefully you internalize this message as if I am talking right to you. And happy Easter, and I'll see you next week.